I remember some questions that I couldn't answer about my religion. My mom would just say, oh, well, you'll just ask God when you get to heaven. That's a thought-terminating cliche. It's designed to end your questioning. There is no logical answer for your question that supports continuing to believe. So a good example is that I asked, why didn't God make everybody believe in him so that everybody could get to heaven? And some people do have an answer for that. They're like, well, we have free will, and if God made you believe in him, you wouldn't have free will. I'm like, you can still have free will and have proof that God exists. Like, it's one thing if you absolutely know that God exists beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I don't mean faith. I mean, like, evidence-based. If faith in God was not faith, but rather knowledge that he existed, then nobody would have any reason not to do everything that the Bible says. But there is no proof of God. There is no proof even that the only God is the Christian God. Because the Christian God had to be enforced in people's belief systems through murder. You know, the Crusades, the Spanish Inquisition. If you have to murder somebody to get them to believe what you're telling them, maybe what you're believing in is actually not true. Because the things that actually support humanity's growth and evolution actually are things that distance themselves from religion, distance themselves from mythology, distance themselves from colonialism. These are the things that will save humanity, not the words of a cult leader 2,000 years ago. And even Jesus's words are more compassionate than most Christians' belief systems. So explain that. And the quotes, supposedly, of Jesus were made, I believe, 300 years. These manuscripts date to about 300 years after Jesus existed. Like, most of the New Testament was written by Paul, and Paul never met Jesus. So, like, the person known as Jesus might not even have ever said any of these things that we say that he said. Anyway, at the end of the day, you'll ask God after you die is a thought-terminating cliche, because there's no stakes in that. Once you die, you're dead. So there's no real-world implications anymore of what you believed in life, except for how your actions affected other people during your time on Earth, whether there's an afterlife or not. There's not.